State of Play just dropped, and this might be Sony's strongest showcase in years. We finally got our first real look at Marvel's Wolverine, Tomb Raider returned, Until Dawn is getting a sequel, and that's only the beginning. There were surprises, release dates, gameplay reveals, and one announcement that completely stole the show. So let's jump straight into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Only Thing Gaming channel. The show doesn't waste any time, starting with Marvel's Wolverine. In the gameplay, we saw Logan rescuing mutant kids from cybernetically enhanced mercenaries. Stealth takedowns are very reminiscent of the Assassin's Creed series, and I think you can also perform takedowns while airborne. We see that when Logan kicks an enemy and then stabs him mid-air. I believe the kick and the takedown are two different moves. Also, the game automatically cleans bloodstains from Wolverine after a few seconds, and I like that. Wolverine's design is really good. It's not worth it to have him covered in blood all the time. Combat looks exactly like what you'd expect from Insomniac, but that's a good thing. You can clearly see DNA from Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, and even Uncharted during some of the cinematic chase sequences. One mechanic that caught my attention was Wolverine's healing factor. Narratively, it makes perfect sense, but I'm curious about how Insomniac balances it from a gameplay perspective. Can Logan heal whenever he wants? Is it tied to a cooldown, or is it part of a larger progression system? Because no matter how powerful Wolverine is, the game still needs consequences for mistakes. Jean Grey also shows up to help Wolverine. I don't think the game offers companion characters like God of War. Maybe she will be playable for parts of the story, and honestly, she'd be better than Mary Jane's sections in Spider-Man. Iconic characters like Sabretooth will also be featured in the game. The game is coming on the 15th of September only on PS5, and the pre-order is available now. Rayman Legends Retold was another surprise announcement. This is meant to be a reimagination of the original Rayman Legends, one of my favorite games to play in co-op. I remember playing this with friends on the PS3, but I can't really tell if this is meant to be a remake or a remaster. Back in the day, the terminology was simple. Remasters improved the visuals, remakes rebuilt the game from the ground up, but with words like retold, resynced, reimagined, and whatever marketing departments come up with next, it's not obvious anymore. However, what's obvious is that Ubisoft are using their old successful titles to get back in the game. We saw this with Black Flag and now with Rayman Legends. The game is set to release on the 1st of October, and even though the footage acknowledged the PS5 only, the game's also coming for Nintendo Switch 2, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis was also shown in State of Play, and it's everything you'd expect from a Tomb Raider game. The narrative, the puzzles, the characters, the atmosphere. However, this game was delayed to 2027. Last year in the Game Awards, they announced two new Tomb Raider games, Catalyst and this one. And originally it was planned for 2026, but they confirmed now that this game is coming on February 12, 2027. That probably means Catalyst will be pushed to 2028. We'll just have to wait and see. We got a first look at Until Dawn 2, and it mostly follows the same structure as its prequel, a narrative-driven game that focuses on choices and consequences. The events of the game take place in an abandoned tropical island, where a successful crew of ghost hunters who, unlike me, fake their best content until they face true horror. As we saw in the first Until Dawn game, your choices can save them or doom them, and you can reach the best or worst possible ending. So people who like to experiment and see the extent of each choice will love the game when it comes out in 2027. Let's move on to talk about more announcements and games before we move to the main event of the show. So make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you've been enjoying this video so far. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is a fighting game coming on the 6th of August this year, and we've seen a teaser where Spider-Man gets beaten up by his worst enemies and then by Magneto. and personally I don't like this art direction, and I gotta say, when will Marvel have a game like Injustice for the DC Universe? Bancho the Chef is about a young man who travels to Japan to learn how to make sushi from a master. This game is supposed to be a sushi simulator or something like that. You can fish, cook, do the dishes. I don't like this kind of games, but it's unique. And it's currently in development for PS5 with no specific release date. Kimori is a fast-paced hack-and-slash game set in Kimori City. The city is inspired by Asia and blends different cultures. You play as a yokai hunter who gains unique advantages in combat and traversal from the power of yokai. The game supports up to 3-player co-op, and it's coming in 2027. The Lost Wild looks to be set in modern world with dinosaurs. It's a first-person horror game. It's also coming in 2027 with no specific date. Phantom Blade Zero was also shown briefly. They confirmed that gameplay and story deep dives are coming in the late summer, which is expected since the game launches on September 9th. But weirdly enough, the game didn't get delayed to my knowledge, and yet when I was researching to make this video, the listed release date for the game on Steam was October 29th. Dune Awakening is a story-driven open-world survival RPG that features characters from the movies and books. You can play solo or with friends. You'll get the chance to craft gadgets and build your base on the planet of Arrakis when this game comes out on September 22nd, 2026. Dynasty Warriors 3, the PS2 classic, is getting remastered. The game will feature 40 different playable officers along with Zilwan, Dynasty Warriors Origins protagonist. The game will launch on October 1st, 2026. No Rest for the Wicked is a Souls-like game set in a living hand-painted world. The game can be played solo or co-op. This game has been in early access since 2024. With its massive world, deep class and progression system, hundreds of hours of content, and endgame, No Rest for the Wicked gets out of early access in October this year. Onimusha Way of the Sword was also shown. After their success with Resident Evil Requiem and Pragmata, Capcom are looking for the trifecta in 2026. We'll have to wait and see if they pull it off when this game launches on September 25th, 2026. Also, a demo for this game is available now, so everyone can try it. Silent Hill Townfall is a new entry in the iconic horror franchise, set to launch on September 24th this year. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief also got a new teaser, focused on story and characters, and most importantly, the game is coming on October 2nd this year, and it includes Ace Combat 0 as a pre-order bonus, so pre-order a game to get a bonus game. Stuntman Hollywood is a stunt simulator, and to be honest, the game's idea looks outdated. Even the game's art makes it look more like a PS2 game. Ill is a first-person horror game that reminded me a lot of the Metro series. The game is coming in 2027, and not much else was said about the game. Control Resonant got a new teaser, more focused on story and characters, and also revealed that the game is coming on September 24th, 2026, the same day as Silent Hill Townfall. We've also seen Bungie's Marathon's new season, Nightfall. Nothing too big, just multiplayer games are announcing their coming new seasons now, and there is a discount on the game now if you're interested. Also, these games are coming to PlayStation Plus. RuneScape Dragon's Wild is coming to the PlayStation Plus, Guitar Man is coming to Classic Catalog in June, Psyops The Mindgate Conspiracy is coming to Classic Catalog in July, and Onimusha Dawn of Dreams is coming to Classic Catalog in August. And with those out of the way, it's time to go to the best announcement. State of Play saved its biggest reveal for last. God of War Laufey. Not a remake, not a remaster, not an expansion, an entirely new entry in the God of War universe. And Sony didn't just show a teaser, they gave us more than 20 minutes of gameplay. The game isn't a prequel or a sequel. It follows Faye after her death. At the same time, God of War 2018 and Ragnarok take place. And the setting is weird. She's not in Helheim, Valhalla, or the Light of Alfheim. And those figures don't even look Norse. I'm pretty sure this character is Egyptian. Her name is Sekhmet, and that's the Egyptian goddess of war, destruction, and healing. If that's really who she is, then Santa Monica may have just opened the door to something much bigger than a simple spin-off. Even her helm and her fake beard, I guess, are known Egyptian cosmetics. And as soon as I heard this line, I knew this had to be the afterlife.
This definitely isn't the Light of Alfheim.
The gameplay is very similar to modern God of War games, but the big difference is they added the jump function, which adds depth to traversal and combat with those juggles. Now, they didn't announce a release date or even a release window, but with 20 minutes of gameplay, it's safe to assume the game is in later stages of development, which suggests that at some point Santa Monica were working on 5 God of War games at the same time. 3 remakes for the original trilogy, Sons of Sparta, and this one. And I've gotta say, in all honesty, a spin-off dedicated to Faye is fine, but it's not what I really hope the series will do next. We've seen Kratos and Atreus' journey, and we know how it ends. I think this game will focus on how Faye follows and helps them from the afterlife, and that sets the tone for a good story. I think by the time Kratos starts to see her in his dreams in Ragnarok, she will be trying to tell him something, and eventually, I think she's the one who changes his fate and saves him from the giant's prophecy. But introducing a concept like the afterlife of the gods could raise a lot of questions. Sekhmet is Egyptian, while Faye is from the Norse world, yet they both ended up in the same place. This suggests that Greek or Norse gods like Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Balder, or even Odin might also end up there. For now, I don't want to start speculating because the game could change drastically, and apart from this reveal, we've got no other information, so such expectations are a topic for another day. This state of play was one of the best I've seen in a long time, and dare I say, the very best. I mean, we got 20 minutes of gameplay for a new God of War title. Isn't that enough? But the only problem I've noticed are the release dates. Most of these games are either coming in September or very early October, so you'll have to be choosy and make sacrifices, because there's no way you have enough time and money to buy and play all of them. And that's one of the industry's problems. You either get a month with a lot of releases, or you get nothing big for a few months. At this point, I'm just glad Black Flag Resynced is coming alone in July and GTA 6 is coming alone in November. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my upcoming videos. I'm planning some good stuff in the coming days. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure to check out my other God of War videos. I'll link them in the description and the end screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.